Hello YouTube, Joe here once again. Today we are going to talk files. Probably the most misunderstood tool on earth. I've seen these used a lot of different ways, but I am going to show you a way that I've learned to make them work a lot better for you. Check this out. Let's start with your average everyday double cut file. We can't even mention some of the names of these files because it's troublesome for the channel. But nonetheless, check out the difference between how I can get this one file to make very different cuts. Now, the typical way you'll see a file used is like this. If somebody wanted to round this edge, right? Sometimes you even see this going on. Pretty common game. That's not really how a file is designed. Although it does work that way, if you really want a file to perform, you need to put a file on its edge and stroke that iris, if you will, and you can see what happens in that file right away. She loads up. I mean, it's really cutting hard. Now, if you hear that chatter noise, chances are it's bouncing over the surface. Don't forget, this is like a whole bunch of block planes all glued together. So it's all a bunch of sharp edges trying to attempt to smooth this. And if you stay with the finish instead of going across it like that, you can get a really smooth finish that's super even. This kind of work with a file is really tough to keep even over a distance. You're going to find it goes up and down, and you're going to find that there's some real serious scratches when you use a file that way. Taking a file that's even coarse and putting it on its side just a little bit will smooth out that cut considerably. And if you want a really smooth edge, you put it all the way on its side. And you can, an edge that you'll literally see light bounce off of from a really coarse file. And you can tell it's working by how it's loading that file up like that. Now, for instance, let's say you were going to take something ultra fine. This is a single cut. They call it a second cut, mill. But if you take this with a fine edge like that, with teeth that fine, I don't know if the camera can really see that or not. Those are very fine teeth. But when you use the cut angle correctly, you can just hear that. It's just making a really super smooth, nice cut. Now, sure, you could do this on wood too, but I wanted to be able to show you the frit, if you will, on the file being white so you could see it nice for the camera. But all this reigns true for metal too. There's a very serious burr on the back of here. Let me see if I can get the camera to see how wicked that is. Very sharp. Now, a lot of folks would probably just jam along that edge, but that's really going to probably roll the burr right to the outside. So what you might want to try is going to the inside. Leave your radius for now at an angle. You can just feel it cutting, and it's leaving a beautiful finish. But if you even were to go further, it can even leave a better finish if you were to clamp this down. So then you would leave the center until last. Go ahead and feel free to keep it flat and work that burr in a radius like that, and it is a lot nicer. Still not done, but when you get to the middle, grab yourself a rat tail and gently, don't work it too, don't push on the file. Let the file do its work. And you'll find that works pretty darn nice. This one still isn't all the way. You can even use a rat tail on a flat. Give it some more angle so it seems like a flat file, and that'll work too. Use a couple rolls, if you will. You can get a pretty darn nice finish. This end has still got a nice burr on it though. Typically you wouldn't use a rat tail for this, but it'll work. Absolutely. Now when it comes time for your outsides, I would take a fine file and play the game this way again. Give yourself a nice angle on it, and do this at a few different angles. Don't just along a 45, if you will. You're going to want to top dress it a little less, a little more, blah, 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 right to the edge, right? And then share that radius in your filing. Same game. Walk it around the corner. And if you keep this walking around that corner, you're going to find it leaves a really nice radius that you don't find any steps on from just doing one stroke, if you will. And then roll your second part off the back. Again, different steps. We got some goo on there. I don't know what that's all about, but I think you guys all understand where I'm coming from pretty quick. Now, if you want to roll this corner, for instance, it would probably be pretty common to just do one of these games, and that isn't bad. That will work. But if you first break that edge just a little bit and you work more of the file against that corner, you'll find you'll remove more material faster and do a better job. I can't really do it now because I'm trying to do this for the camera so you guys can see it. But if this was all held down really well and hanging off a bench or what have you, you'd find when you're doing it like this, you can really put a nice edge on there. So it's just a few tips on how to get these edges really nice. Again, a long, nice stroke with the file on an angle produces just beautiful results. None of this off the edge thing, because that leaves a choppy edge again. And not only that, but now you can feel that it's not smooth. So just use your files along the edges like this, and if you want a really nice finish, lay it down even some more so it's really flat along that edge. And you can just feel it gripping. Just can't see it really well on the file. That's why I decided to use the acrylic. You guys let me know what you think. Did your filing improve? You take care.